Hello, this is Misty Frost, and this special Boss Moments had us on two different locations in two different cities, speaking with two talented young ladies that assist our special guests in two different yet vital roles. And what does our special guest do? Just too many things to tell you about right now. So, looks like you will just have to stay tuned. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Through these doors resonates a belief that anything is possible, and Pastor Paula Dunlap is truly a testimony to that faith and the principles that hold this belief sacred. You see, Miss Paula Dunlap is not only a pastor at St. Paul Deliverance Christian Center in Norfolk, she is also the First Lady married to Apostle Eddie Dunlap. And as if those two positions didn't hold enough responsibility, this anointed woman of God is also a talented and visionary fashion designer with her own successful couture line. Oh, and did I mention, this September I just witnessed this 757 local debut her line on the ASC runway of New York Fashion Week, and they were so impressed, they have already booked her to come back next year. Now we will definitely get to talk to pastor / first lady / fashion designer / business owner Paula Dunlap. But I wouldn't be the perfect mate assistant if I wasn't also intrigued by other perfect assistants that help drive this fashion machine. So we also had the pleasure of speaking with some of the behind-the-scenes players that continue to support Pastor Paula in her creative vision. And I must say, this type of assistance and support is truly a blessing. First up, Miss Felicia Parker. Felicia is a model and the brand ambassador of Royaume Bonnet Couture. And just what does a brand ambassador do? Well, I'll let her tell you.
I showcase a lot of Royaume items. I go to a lot of the vendors events. Do a lot of photo shoots, a lot of fashion shows with Royaume, just showcasing her wardrobe.
Okay, and you're actually wearing one of her designs now, right?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
So, exactly how did you get started in as far as being a brand ambassador?
Well, 2 years ago, I was doing a lot of fashion shows at my church, and she was one of the designers. I knew her beforehand because she's my first lady, and back then I struggled in my confidence.
Okay.
And who I was as a woman, and not just a woman of God.
Okay.
And I remember I was always connecting with her on a personal level, being able to share a lot of my experience with her.
Okay.
And she will always tell me, like, you're so beautiful, and I always question that. I say thank you, but on the inside,
can't imagine.
Yeah, on the inside, I was struggling to even believe that, you're beautiful.
Wow.
And then she would call me her chocolate drop. You're just so beautiful, and I'm like, thank you. And then one day she just looked at me and she was like, I would love for you to be my brand ambassador. She said, I want you to think on it and, let me know what you think of it. And I remember thinking about it and I was like, this is a perfect opportunity for me to represent something so powerful that I also stand for in myself.
Yes.
And I knew that by me doing it, I knew that God was going to help me with my confidence.
And when asked about what advice would she give to anyone in our Boss Moments audience that may be interested in becoming a brand ambassador, Felicia had this to say.
I would say character, I would say having a positive attitude, and most importantly, humility, being humble, being able to be up under someone else and them teaching you and critiquing you, and you being open to that constructive criticism. And another thing, you also can go to different fashion shows, connect with different designers. You never know, just by you talking to them, they may pick up something and say, hey, I love your attitude. I love how you're open. I love how you wore my garment. I would love for you to model my brand. And you just start there.
Up next, we spoke to Miss Cynthia Mills, and Cynthia wears a bunch of different hats. We'll actually let her explain exactly what she does.
With Royaume Benet Couture, I am more so the commentator. Okay. However, the role can kind of overlap into an assistant type role as well. There are additional people that help her, and I definitely want to give credit to them because it's an awesome team approach. But when the show goes down and she can only have a limited amount, and I'm backstage with her, then yes, I have to wear multiple hats.
Okay. So as a commentator, you basically kind of like introduce when she's coming out, kind of like, pretty much like the hype man behind the scenes.
Yeah, more so behind the scenes. What makes it unique is that it could be behind the scenes, helping her get an outfit together for a model. However, I may have my phone in the other hand doing Facebook Live. So okay. I have to multitask with this role. And it was interesting how it started out because she looked at me one day and asked if I could just give some footage about one of these shows. I'm like, sure. Mm-hmm. But I had no clue what to do. And then she said, go do it.
Yeah.
And from there, I did it, and it has continued on ever since.
Wow. So you just kind of, just rolled with it.
Yeah.
Cynthia went on to tell us a little more about why she enjoys being a fashion designer assistant and what all it takes to be successful in this type of role.
The thing about it is the exposure, mm-hmm. the kindness, the humility, the love that's shown, the respect, okay. the communication, the professionalism. It's imperative that you can really understand the vision behind the designer. You need to know the temperament of the designer you're working with, because that way and then learn the small things that he or she likes. Okay. That you make their life as easy as possible, because when they're in that fashion design mode, sometimes they just need to know I have good support. Mm-hmm.
So without further ado, the time that you have been waiting for is here. We finally got to sit down with Pastor / First Lady / fashion designer / business owner Paula Dunlap, and she gave us some insight into her creative genius, all while sharing a wealth of information.
We want to hear all about your fabulous line, Royaume Benet Couture. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes, you did.
Yes, I've been practicing. Yes. So all day today, we've actually been going around and seeing some of your fabulous designs. Tell us, how was New York Fashion Week?
Oh my God. First of all, New York Fashion Week was a dream come true. I never thought in a million years that I would be there, but I was.
Yeah.
It just took me to a different level.
Yeah.
It gave me greater confidence that I can do it.
Yeah. It was, it was exciting to see someone from hometown, like, on the New York center stage catwalk. It was just exciting to see. Mm-hmm. I'm like, wow, go ahead, 757. Yes, doing wonderful things. Mm-hmm. And you have such a magnificent eye for fashion.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes, definitely. So, by all means, tell us, how did you get started?
Oh, wow. Well, I started first, 1996, I started a business, Beloved and Mine's Bridal Consultant Services and more. Okay. So I was a bridal consultant, event planner, one-stop wedding place, one of the first ones in Hampton Roads.
Okay.
And so in 1996 through 2015, and then I retired.
Okay.
It just changed. I felt like I was just shifting or something, like something else was getting ready to come. And After that, it was Signature Creations by Paula, which was specialized in making fleece items like ponchos and fleece NFL hats and socks and throws and things like that. I think I did really good with that. But then there was another shift. I started having visions and dreams about fabrics and images of patterns.
Wow.
I was not a seamstress even as a child. So, like I shared with you earlier.
Yeah, but you said your whole family.
My whole family,
tailors and seamstresses.
That's right, but I never was.
Wow.
I was not that one. I could knit, but I just could not sew. And so, in having these visions and dreams, I began to tell my husband, I said, something's going on. I think you're going to have to purchase me a machine, a sewing machine. So he said, you sure? Because you're probably going to let it sit and not use it. I said, no, it's just something I'm feeling.
Yeah.
So he purchased a machine, and that's where it all started. But the visions and the dreams was about denim.
Wow.
Denim upcycling, revitalizing, revolutionary, changing the vision of denim and just taking it to a futuristic level.
And innovative and futuristic denim is definitely something that Pastor Paula Dunlap does best. This was the main focus of her theme at New York Fashion Week. And what does her inspiration come from?
So my inspirations come, of course, from my mom, my grandmother, and my sister, which my mama made all our clothes when we grew up. Yeah, everything was sewn.
Yeah, my stuff too.
And that inspired me. But something my sister said the other day, she said, how come it's weird that you were the one that didn't sew, but now you sew? And I told her, yeah, it's just really strange. But that's kind of like God. You know, ideals and dreams are born every day.
Yeah.
You just got to be open to it.
Definitely.
And of course, we could not leave without knowing exactly the meaning behind the name of her line, Royaume Benet Couture.
My trendsetter, her name is Kiana McNair.
And she has a trendsetter. That was new for me too. So first, tell them what a trendsetter is.
Well, she looks for all the fashions that are upcoming. She keeps me abreast of everything that's not like 2018, but 2020.
Oh.
So Kiana says, hold on a minute. She shot me one word, and that was royaume. I said, well, what is royaume? She said kingdom in French, because they know I love French.
Yeah.
Je ne vais parler.
Oh.
And so they know I love French.
Yes.
And so when she said royaume, I said, I have to finish it. So, Lord, give me the other part. Then he said, Benet. I said, that's blessed in French. Couture is sewing. So it's kingdom, blessed, sewing.
Wow.
That's it.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
And the logo is the Eiffel Tower, but the flower in the middle is the lily of the valley, which says the Lord is the center of royaume.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, it's been such a pleasure talking to you. And like I said, stay tuned, because of course we have some Boss Moments questions for our audience that, definitely may be interested in furthering your career as a fashion designer. So stay tuned.
Thank you. My advice to upcoming designers would be to follow your heart, follow your dream. Make sure that you have a vision and design with the consumer in mind. Don't be restricted to the gray areas. Go outside of the box. Don't listen to the naysayers that say maybe your designs are not fashionable at this time. It could be futuristic. It could be something later, but don't stop designing. I first would say creativity and individuality. Try not to be like nobody else. Do you. Be yourself. Whether it's the high end of fashion or street style, just find where your line is and just stay right there. Stay humble. Stay humble. Write everything down and journal. Those skills you may not have right off as a fashion designer. Some fashion designers are beginning sewers, and so they still learn. So you can always learn, continue to advance in fashion designing by pattern drafting or whatever else you could do, going to class or going to school or having a mentor. That's what I would say would be your skills for fashion designing. Find fashion shows in your local area. Go on Facebook, go on Google, it's go on Eventbrite. Stay abreast on what's coming, or go on Pinterest and put your designs on Pinterest or Etsy, or just online, or online boutique stores. So those are some places where you can get your resources known.
Well, I sure hope you were taking notes. I want to say thank you again to truly a jack of all trades, Pastor, First Lady, and fashion designer Paula Dunlap, and her amazing team. Stay on the lookout. This will not be the last you hear from her or her clothing line, Royaume Benet Couture. This has been Misty Frost of Misty Frost Executive Services, and always the perfect mate to your business.